Well, I now have a cat on me. But yeah. So, oh no. So this is what Spectrum wanted. He has wanted to see the inside of this cave for so long. And now I get to see it for him. Me and Jinx. Yeah. Two more. Violet Grass for Chi-Chi. And actually Simeon, if he ever builds her, who is the rocker chick. Also voices Barbara, which is cool. Ooh, I missed up. Jinx, don't. It's spicy. You won't like it. For future spectrums, I had spicy ramen for dinner, and our cat is trying to eat it, but she cannot eat it. She's a child. Oh.
Wheel of life. Time to go! No touching! Incinerate! Oof!
I hope he realizes that he can use charge attacks with Yanfei to break these. Because that's what I do with Clee all the time. I wonder how long that's been lit up. Oh, okay. Cool. I wish they did it like in Final Fantasy or oh gosh. I guess Stardew Valley. Where really any game with a mini-map where like each level you go down you can see more of your level. That's so not a good way to say that, but just like how maps should be. Oh, you know, because I'm underground now, but it's telling me I'm in the water. Clearly not. God, I have to look through everything, otherwise he's gonna be so grumpy that I missed it. Also, he can just come back and look, but I should be nice and treat it as if it were my own game. these lotus heads. What is no. Oh shit.
Go!
Guess shoot them. Where are you? Ugh. Where are you aiming? Does anyone else absolutely love all of the Ace Attorney memes that feature Yanfei? Because I love them. They're my bread and butter. I never really got into playing Ace Attorney all that much. I only watched it. And it was still so much fun. And the music, if you can call it that, just absolutely colors my backtrack, my internal backtrack when an argument happens. I wish that would be a TikTok trend instead of like the CSI meme. I think it's CSI they use for it. Alright, you know what? I will come back in here with my own team and just mine all of these for him. Because I'm... does not own a single Claymore user. A usable Claymore user. I guess I could use his Beto, but like... I'm just gonna be grumpy. We have such opposite playstyles, so I almost exclusively... I almost exclusively use greatsword users, and... whatever, Spectrum can come back here and explore on his own. I'm pretty sure I got most things. Because it stays open. Anyway, I exclusively use greatsword users and catalysts, and he uses range and sword users. Oh, he calls it bonkers. Oh no. What geo character do you have that I can even use? I know he needs like one to do like a puzzle. Ooh. All right.
As you wish.
We can try, Noelle. And hope it works. I did this with Zhongli, so I don't know. But I think maybe if they give me Zhongli, maybe I'll leave and then put Yanfei back in. Because I forget if he's a playable character in this. Oh, he is. Alright, we're gonna leave. Do I remember how? How do you leave? Oh my god, how do you leave? How do I leave a domain? Ah ha ha ha! Failed. I hope it doesn't send me all the way back out. I've never left, like, a story domain. I just power through and I say, oh well. I've dug my grave and now I'm gonna lie in it. I wish that the opening loading screen would be black like this one. Alright, no, I won't have to murder you senselessly.
Next time, be sure to make a proper appointment.
I want you to make a proper appointment. I do not like Yanfei. I know that there's so many characters that or so many people who love her as a character, but I cannot stand her. She's so condescending in English. And then her Japanese voice actress doesn't sound like her at all.
Are these statues?
Do they look like statues?
No. These are people.
Ugh.
They were probably followers of the god of salt.
How did they become this way?
What in the world is hidden deep in this ruin? Access denied.
Oh man, sure is nice to have these geo constructs. Oh, got you. Alright. Never really played Zhongli on PS4. I play him on my account all the time. He's part of like my main main build. Oh no. Main team. Main team.
Right.
God.
Quake!
There it is.
Look at this. It's filled halfway with salt.
Just looks like a fancy salt holder. Seems like the god of salt was a god lacking in treasures.
According to my knowledge, it's no ordinary vessel. Although it is only half full, it is also forever half full. That is to say, it is bottomless.
What? You're saying that even if I pour the salt out, the amount inside won't change?
Exactly.
Able to produce endless salt. The god of salt is powerful indeed.
Finally, after all that effort, I've found precious treasure. I claim this as mine. I just need to pour the endless salt into 1,000 or 10,000 bags. I can sell it and make a fortune.
Hey, how can you use a relic of the god of salt for such a shallow pursuit?
If Mr. Clement wants this salt chalice, then the next object we find will belong to Miss Wanyan, according to the contract agreed upon.
Of course, as we agreed. But how can anything be worth more than this rare find?
Since we have a contract, it's no use for me to fight with him.
Then let's move on, shall we?
So he got the endless salt cup because he's a salty boy. So all of these statues are salinized. And I think that's a wonderful word, because it comes from saline, and instead of saying like salined, which is not a word at all, it's salinized. I think it's a fantastic word.
Stabilize.
All hail!
Look at you in your disco ball. Oh yeah, I definitely would have had to use the Geo Traveler, and not Noelle, unfortunately, because she does not know Geo.
Rise! Crumble! Just a simple ruler. It doesn't look to be worth anything.
This, if I remember correctly, this is some kind of measuring tool.
Indeed. But the god of salt imbued it with another power. When you stick this ruler in the ground, the surrounding area will become covered in salt, much like a rising tide covers the earth. The deeper it is stuck in the ground, the more salt will appear. It is essentially a bumper harvest of salt.
What? That's even better than the salt chalice!
Well then,
Is it?
according to our contract, the salt ruler goes to Miss Wanyan.
No, unacceptable. I paid for and organized this entire expedition. Why should I get the short end of the stick? And this girl has been useless. Why would she get anything?
Oh boy, here we go again.
So you are saying you want to break the contract?
So what if I break it? Now that I've seen how the mechanisms in this ruin work, I no longer need you. Let's not forget who hired who here. Why should I let you make the rules?
Because you agreed to a contract. Rex Lapis once said, "Ones who break their contracts shall suffer the wrath of the rock."
That is one of your Liyue gods. I am from Snezhnaya. I
Will suffer the wrath of the rock. You may find it rather unpleasant.
pay your dues. This is order. Gather.
It's not like my...
Time for your arraignment!
Objection! No further questions.
Can't run from death.
I shall confiscate your treasure as well. You are not worthy to continue any further into the ruin. Leave this place.
Oh, darn you! Just you wait.
Some archaeological survey. He could only pretend for so long. Hey, Paimon likes Mora, but Paimon doesn't do bad things.
Clement's wrongdoing stemmed from greed, yes. But besides greed, there are many other things that may tempt us to break contracts. When people see the object of their dreams, how many are really able to control their desire and follow the contract? I think we should be honest with each other now.
Huh? Be honest about what?
That in truth, not a single member of this archaeological expedition came here for archaeology.
Why do you say that?
Because
Miss,
you're a terrible
you
liar.
lack even the most basic archaeological knowledge, and can recognize naught but a few simple relics. However, you are an expert when it comes to anything regarding the god of salt. You aren't interested in archaeology or relics. What you're really interested in is the god of salt. I believe those legends about the god of salt that you mentioned on the Pearl Galley are passed down between generations at Yinyuan Hall.
Okay, that's enough. Sir, you are indeed a man of great knowledge and talents. I seem to have been right to seek you out once I plucked up my courage. You're right. I'm not a scholar of archaeology. I come from one of the 8 trades under the jurisdiction of the Qixing, Yinyuan Hall of the salt industry. Our ancestors were those protected by the god of salt all those years ago, when the Archon War engulfed the land in chaos.
Oh, right! Now that you mention it, the people of Leah very seldom use the name Morax.
During the war, Morax assassinated our god out of envy for her power. He left us alone and lost in the world. We hate him! But this is Morax's Leela after all. And its history is written as he wishes. So I seek proof of Morax's guilt. He has blood on his hands and cruelty in his heart.
First of all,
We agreed to a
does
contract
have
that we will
blood on
face
his
the
hands.
truth head on, didn't we, Mr. Zhongli? You must judge this history fairly.
Naturally, of
don't know if he has
course.
cruelty in his heart.
But I
Definitely
must
more
add-
on the mind.
Leah is no longer Morax's Leah. Come with me. All the answers you seek lie ahead.
How do I...
Quake! Crumble!
We're not gonna screw this up. How?
Rise!
Alright, there's just straight up an invisible wall. I'm so sorry, I cannot get this chest. No. No, we're fine. I got this chest for you. There was no struggle. It was not difficult at all. No concerns here.
Crumble! Solidify!
play has gone you. I'm going to forget. But it's like a... Could you imagine if I actually won Inspection's account and I was like, I'm gonna build Zhongli. I'll have him at level 90. Aren't I the sweetest for resourcing up my dude? But man, what a struggle to play him on PS4. It's not easy. Let's see. It's the only chest.
This is a sword? Aha! It's a broken sword! This is proof! This proves that the God of Salt had to fight back against the evil Morax. But sadly, she was defeated. The power of this sword surely is much greater than that of the Salt Chalice and Salt Ruler. If we can repair the sword, then we can show the world the mighty power of the God of Salt.
It does look like something left behind after being defeated in battle.
2 pieces of a broken sword. From an archaeological perspective, these are 2 separate relics. According to the contract, you can only claim 1.
Why? We were alternating claims to treasure, true. But Clement is no longer here.
Yes, but the only 1 object per claim clause still holds true. You cannot take 2 relics at the same time.
This logic!
Zhongli, she seems like a good person, and no one is fighting over the treasure. How about you let this one slide, huh?
When there's a contract, nothing can be allowed to slide. If the contract is not followed, then it is broken.
No! If I only take 1/2, then it can't be repaired, and the power of the God of Salt cannot be restored. No matter what, I must be faithful to her. Even if it breaks the contract, I don't care.
So you are already decided? Then there is a price to pay for breaking the contract.
Zhongli!
That is to say, you consign yourself to suffer the wrath of the rock.
That's okay. The God of Salt gave up her life to protect her people. My sacrifice is nothing compared to that. Punish me however you want. Just let me take this proof of my faith.
No, you can't hit her!
Perhaps that punishment would be easier for her. But, as punishment, I will tell you the truth.
Huh? The truth? You mean the truth is my punishment?
Yes. The truth that I am about to tell you shall be your price to pay for breaking the contract. I'm afraid to say that the God of Salt, Havria, was not the powerful god you imagine her to be. Rather, she was a small and weak god who yielded to all other gods. When it came to war, she lost, never able to win a seat among the 7.
What?
During the Archon War, the gods of this world used all their strength and cunning to vie for control of Tevat. But Havria instead chose to flee. She thought that by giving up before a fight could start, she could save herself and her people from the war. However, during such a long war, there is no end to the advances of aggressors. After making countless concessions, Havria lost all of her lands, until only one small haven remained.
No. No! It can't be so.
In her last days, she had not even a single blade to defend her people with.
Not even a single blade? Then... this sword...
This sword is not a relic belonging to the god of salt, but is instead the murder weapon used to kill her.
Murder weapon? No! That's not true! That can't be true! You're trying to test my faith in the god of salt!
As I said before, I only state the facts.
Preposterous! You are a follower of Morax! Don't try to trick me!
Hey! Hey! Come back!
Indeed. Otherwise, why would I use the truth as punishment? I did not want to tell her such cruel facts. But the contract was broken. Let's follow her deeper into the ruin. There, I fear, we will find something that will leave her no choice but to face the truth.
I hope she doesn't die. Oh, I forget where it came from. I hope it's hope this one goes through there.
Are these statue thingies running? What will we find ahead?
Salt. And betrayal.
God, it's so bad. Think there's anything here. Pretty sure these all say the same thing. Yep. He seems to be fleeing from something. No doubt suspecting that something terrible is afoot. So unfortunate. Even stabbed with salt. You good, girl? She's not good.
What are all these? What did they see? What did they do? What happened?
Since you do not trust me, let us continue onward. That which lies beyond this door will show you all that happened back then. This is the scene of the crime. Havria's body dissipated, leaving nothing but these traces of salt. Her dying moments have since been frozen in time to this very day. The story continues that some among her people realized at last that this gentle, kind, but weak god could never protect anyone in wartime. The Archon War was cruel in the extreme. Instead of consigning her to the agony of defeat, they thought perhaps it would be better to give her a quick release.
But what about these statue thingies?
No matter how weak the god, the power that flows forth when they are slain is beyond the strength of mortal coils to bear. Those who could not flee were thus transformed. Those of her people who were untouched by this disaster left for Liyue. where they sought refuge with Rex Lapis. Their descendants feared Havria's remnants, and lived in terror that she had laid upon them an eternal curse. So they risked their lives to come here, to break the sword, and offer up obeisances in hopes that her anger might be appeased. But they need not have done so. For how could a god who had never once resisted, even till the end, nurse hatred for her people in her heart?
Even if this is so, I can't. This must be a lie. A false history, all of it. Don't you dare try to shake my faith.
Yikes. Zhongli didn't show any mercy this time either.
This is the price she must pay. Yet I would not call it a bad thing. Judging by how she appeared, I fear that she will struggle for a time. But even if she may not escape that struggle immediately, simply recognizing the truth is good enough for now. No, indeed. How sharp of you. Yet this is not a matter of wisdom, only age. Faith in a god who has already passed will do you no good. So it is for Havria. And so it is for Morax also. All right then. Now, would you like to accompany me in taking a trip to Guyanstone Forest?
Huh? What do you want to do, Zhongli?
Treading old ground, telling old stories. One cannot help but be reminded of old acquaintances.
Okay, so to recap, the god or goddess of salt, Havria, had escaped to like this domain, safe haven, for her people, and took all of her followers here to protect them during the Archon War. And her followers, knowing that like the demise was imminent because she was a weak god, were quite angry with the fact and wanted to kill her. Very Caesar-esque, if you're familiar with Julius Caesar. At least that's my takeaway from the story. The gods had wanted to just offer immediately instead of let her die by defeat or like suffering loss and then dying. They just wanted to kill her to make it a little bit more more palatable, I suppose. But in the end her followers killed her, which is quite sad. And so, but she wasn't spiteful or hateful. She was understanding of the fact. Very, very sad, in my opinion. That is Solterra, the history of Solterra. Rude as hell.
Born of ice and frost. Access denied.
Oh god. I hate summoning this
Higher, higher, pants on fire!
game. Love lag. So technically there's also a faster way to get up here. I don't remember what it is. Where the mechanism is? I don't even remember if it's an Animo or if it's Geo, and it should be Geo, but I have no idea. Oh. I wonder how many people actually enjoy having Endora as their little pet. Because I really like the Sealy. I like how kind of chirpy it was.
Yeah.
Reminded me that I was there and hanging out. But I totally understand why people don't like that. Kind of annoying at times. But Endora sleeping and also not being a very usable pet is frustrating. Not that the Sealies are usable, but at least you knew that.
Now, I mentioned before that many gods of old have been sealed beneath the Guyan stone forest. The Adepti have presently handed Liyue over to mortals, and Havria's time was even further in the past. The Salt Chalice and Salt Ruler that she left behind should not return to Liyue. To leave them here is to let them slumber. And it is also a homecoming. I ended an era with my own two hands. I've always wondered how I should remember that which I ended. History records, but history may be changed. This incident proved that. Time is a mighty force, and history's twist in its flow. I need to find a better way of recording history in order to engrave its truth. Stone carvings were one such ancient method, but unchanging stone, immovable earth, even one such as myself. Someday we may all disappear.
Zhongli.
Therefore, I thought of you, traveler. You are one who crosses the celestial atlas, and who passes through countless worlds. If our history is engraved in your memory, it will one day accompany you into another world. As long as a traveler like you is able to record what happened, then a backup of sorts will exist for times and tides of Teyvat.
sounds like tough work.
Now then, it is time that we consigned both the Salt Chalice and Salt Ruler to the sea.
Huh? Why do we need to throw them into the sea?
As I said before, this is the place to which the remnants of many bygone gods are consigned. This includes Osial, Overlord of the Vortex, who the Jade Chamber most recently returned to this ocean prison. Thousands of years ago, the Adepti and I fought against the turmoil that plagued every corner of this land. Guyan Stone Forest, where I sealed many gods with my spears. After so long, naught but folk tales remain. Osial, you and I were foes, but our ancient grudge is but a bygone memory now. May that which Havria has left behind be yours to subsume. And thus another spark of divinity departs from Liyue. My legacy shall now be left to those who come after to debate.
And that was chapter 1.
Huh?
I thought it was wonderful. I think it was very sad and fitting for Zhongli.
Toodaloo.
Oh. And here I am as Hu Tao, hanging out with my one worker.
I will remain here for a while. I fear that moments of reminiscence like this can only grow fewer. That is a good question. In the past, I might have given you a most specific answer. But now... yes. I suppose I will continue in my role as a consultant at Wangsheng Funeral Parlor. But if this journey was to your liking, why don't you come along the next time I am seeking to preserve memories of Liyue's past? I will remain here for a while. I fear that moments of reminiscence like this can only grow fewer. Though the Salt Chalice and Salt Ruler do have power in their own right, they are nothing before Osial. If a day comes when he should recover his strength and return, I believe that even so, he will be defeated once more.
Yes, big dick energy, Zhongli. You know, I wonder... I
will remain here for a while. I fear that moments of reminiscence like this can only grow fewer.
If I have to fight the freaking boss, because I will not fight the boss. A, solo on Spectrum's account, and B, because I feel like it's not, I don't know, I want to do it on mine.
We did not measure right and wrong during the days of the Archon War in the same manner as we do today.
How it
of course, as I am now, I only wish that she could have lived in a gentler time. Of course, as I am now, I only wish that she could have lived in a gentler time.
And that was all the voice lines.